Welcome, Warriors. Welcome to the 1% Club. And once again, welcome to the Vigor Warriors 2 channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to do a video this time on not fearing the demon. Thomas Anderson, one of our great viewers, had a comment talking about how he gets, interrupted and things, hit him at different times with the succubuses and the vampires. And we're going to talk about this one a little bit. So, once again, thanks for subscriptions, comments, donations. Go ahead and keep subscribing. Please let me know if this is what you're interested in. If there's a topic you're interested in, go ahead and do that. Or a person, like I just did one on Tupac Shakur. Sorry about that. And also did one on Bela Lugosi. And if there's somebody else out there you feel is a masculine figure, even a feminine figure we can kind of look at. I'm going to look at it just from the standpoint of energy. I'm not going to judge, their artistic value or political views or anything like that. I'm kind of looking at more of the energy level they convey when they talk to people. And it can be both male and female, because female does have that energy as well. It may not be the same as the masculine, but it's also feminine, and it's needed for us as well. So those are feminine energy and masculine energy are both needed. The problem we have in society, in my opinion, is that we're getting too much of a mixture. We're getting too many males who are becoming too feminine, and too many females are becoming too masculine. And I think those kind of energies are not good, because they mix and match, and it just destroys relationships, destroys people. And then in my opinion, it's going to also destroy offsprings and things like that. So I think when you look at those type of things, you've got to have a balance with that. And this is why, through what God has intended, is males to be with females and those type of things. So I know I'll probably get some heat for that, but that's basically what I believe the Bible is telling us. So that's my viewpoint on it. All right, so let's look at what Thomas Anderson was talking about. And he's talking about the fact that, at any point, it's very difficult to get away from thinking about these type of things. And I think he makes a good point. And I know I suffered through this for many, many years. So Thomas, I'm with you. I empathize a great deal. I know what you're going through with this. Let me just make a few different kind of points here to look at this. First of all, there are, in my opinion, evil spirits. I believe there are. I think I've seen too many situations in my 60 years to go through not to say that something else is happening that we can't see. And I've been a researcher, scientist for a lot of years, and I believe there's things that that science is not going to be able to determine or predict or anything like that. And so there's things out there. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's an old analogy between in the communication field that we talk about, where we say, okay, if you're not in the forest and the tree falls down, will it make a sound? And of course the answer is yes, but in your mind, you don't see it. Your perception doesn't hear it. And so we base a lot of things that we see on perceptions, but it doesn't mean it's not there. And I think I'll go back to the old mythical type of thing about vampires, right? And the strength of the vampire is the fact that people don't believe it exists. Now, whether it exists or not, that's probably a whole different question. But the fear is what hurts people. And they talk about this a lot. There's also another story talking about how plagues ran through countries, and God was talking to the devil. And he said, I promised that you promised you were only going to kill so many people with this plague. There must be a backstory that I'm forgetting on this. But the devil said, well, don't blame me. I only killed the 30,000. The other 60,000 died of fear. And fear, guys, is the whole key to this. When you're scared, you do a lot of different things that you would do. Your whole mind is focusing on survival, either running or fighting, right? And so when you talk about this type of situation, you're going to get in your mind flashing times. Once again, we talk about these birds. These birds are going to fly around you for a long, long time. After 60 years of this myself, I could say that I'm still getting, at times, birds flying through, because I've had so many experiences. It's almost like it's been kind of drilled into me of these situations. And there's times that I have to kind of really fight through it. And I am still a long way from being where I want to be. I'm at 500, close to 525 days, but still, I have a long way to go. Long way to go. It's gotten a lot better, but there's times that I still think about it, and I have to block my memory out and focus back on my goal. And we'll talk about that in a minute or so. But the idea is that you're not going to get away from, if you start tomorrow, you're going to get hit with all these type of things because that's what you're drawing your attention to. Whether you realize it or not, your thoughts are drawing these things to you. And because of that, all of a sudden now you have to kind of defend yourself not to fall back into those type of things. But being scared of the demon, right, of the vampire, of the succubus, is the first issue that you have to deal with. Now, on retention, the longer you go, I believe the less scared you become for anything, actually. You don't really get as upset. You're a lot more calmer, a lot more confident that you can handle the situation, and you're not responding as angrily towards people as you used to. Okay? So this is the key, guys, to be able to say, okay, I can handle these situations better. Now I'm not going to be as scared. And now I can think about ways of redirecting my energy when I'm thinking about this so that the birds don't make a nest in my head. They're flying elsewhere. Okay? But I think that, Thomas, you got a good question here, and you got a good thought. When you're in a situation where you're just starting, again, and I think I go back to even Oscar's question, I think it was, the benefits will hit you right away, but you're going to have a huge fight. I mean, I had a fight for, 40 years, 30, 40 years, something like that, right? I had a huge fight. Because you're in the back of your mind, I go back to the ideas that I thought it was great to go ahead and relapse. Because I thought that was healthy. I mean, obviously I wasn't trying to do that to hurt myself, but I thought it was a healthy thing. I listened and I was brainwashed by these ideas that meant that this was going to, not have prostate cancer and those type of things, right? Well, I don't believe that's true. I just don't. I have seen the benefits now for 500 some days, and I finally said, heck, I'm 60 years old. I'm going to go this. I'm going to do this. And this may be, who knows how long I'm going to live, but, I'm going to say that this is one of the best things ever happened to me. I haven't been sick in a long, long time, and certainly never been sick with this retention. And even though we're going through this situation in the world, I have never been sick. Now, yeah, I'll get sniffles once in a while. I have to rub my nose like I just did, or I have to go ahead and, I have a cough. But I believe a lot of things. I go back to believing that beer is helping me as well. But I believe that your body is stronger than we think it is. And I believe that you don't realize how strong you are. We've gotten in a society where we have been dependent on pills, on all these type of things to make us better. And I think I'll do a video on this now. I'm thinking about it. But we're dependent on other things. And that shouldn't be the case. You have the strength within you to overcome a lot of things if you allow yourself to do that. And this is the thing I'm finding out here. So don't be fearful of the demon. Don't be scared. Thomas, you got a great comment and question here. I appreciate it. Shout out to you. But I think that you have to think this through a little bit, guys, and realize what you're doing is special. Now, it wasn't special many, many years ago. But in our society now, there's very few people that hold and retain. The successful people, like we saw with Tupac and even Bela Lugosi and these type of things, you'll see that they do retain. Mike Tyson's a great story. Muhammad Ali was a great story. Tesla, all these type of people, they didn't die of prostate cancer, right? I mean, maybe one or two. I don't have any research, so I didn't look this up. But I'm guessing they didn't die from prostate cancer, right? But the idea, guys, is that when you look at this, the idea is that you have to realize there's a lot of things that go into disease than just one thing. And retention itself is not going to hurt you. In fact, that's what God has given you that energy for. Yes, you're going to procreate at special times, but beyond that, you need to be very careful with the energy you have. And in my case, I want to live a long time, so I'm not going to go ahead and just waste my energy for anything at this point. All right? And I'm certainly not going to be scared into it by the demon. And those are the types of things you have to watch out for. Do not be scared. by a demon coming to you saying, okay, you're going to, be this way or that way if you don't have, go ahead and release, or you don't have sex with this girl. Okay. Guys, you have to look at the long term. And I know I'm talking like a dad here, which I am. But I'm going to talk about like a dad. Look at the long-term goal of this, right? You don't want to be sitting on the corner just whistling at girls, wasting your time. Maybe you have a job, maybe you don't have a job. You want to go ahead and say, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? What am I trying to do? And one of the worst things you do is chase women around. And it's hard not to at a young age because your testosterone level is so high and you haven't learned how to control it as well. And I understand all that. But just think of a long-term goal. If I sleep with this girl, what benefit besides a short-term pleasure am I going to get? And guys, that's the key thing. The short-term pleasure is not going to make you feel good long-term. So getting back to, and we were talking about this Jordan as well, getting back to this, long-term goal, guys, is going to make you happier for a longer period of time. Will the short-term release give you happiness? Yeah, maybe about 2 seconds. Then you got massive guilt coming in because you know what's wrong. But that's, once again, that's Satan, that's the demon showing you the apple saying, okay, it's not so bad, go ahead and do this. And I went through this, guys, 40 years. So I understand how you can get tricked into this. But once again, we're not living in the blue matrix anymore, guys. We're living in the red matrix. And we're becoming to wake up as a society to all these things that have been tricking us. And we've been tricked a lot of different ways, as you start seeing in the society. All right, so Thomas, once again, just like with Jordan, shout out to you for this one, and I hope this helps you. I'm also going to probably, now that I'm thinking about it, do one of this whole idea of dependency. All right, until next time, guys, battle on.